Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday Night Muse stream. I am your humble host or hostess. I don't know how to start that. Hostess? That's probably the most accurate. I'm your humble hostess, Sound Engraver. Nice to see you. I'm going to check, of course, the audio, and I feel like I should check a few other things too. But yeah, we'll see how everything is. It's a cold day, but I'm actually quite warm, and I think it's because I've had I had a bowl of soup, some salmon soup with some broccoli in it. It was pretty plain, but that's all I had as far as ingredients were concerned. So I am on my YouTube right now. Let's see if audio's okay, if audio's good. Can you hear me all right? Looks like I'm live. Looks like Ahsoka's giving me a really nasty look. All right, I think just a little bit. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, I do remember what I need to announce. My internet has been dropping, so hang tight. If the screen blacks out, I will come back. But I think it was like a couple lessons today and just the internet. I think it was construction outside. But it was the internet. It just decided, hey, I know all day, all morning and early afternoon you weren't teaching, and I never dropped. But how about I drop on your online lessons? So that was pretty fun. So it may drop any time of the stream. Just hang tight. I will be back. But anyway, how are you guys? We're going to be talking. Thank you, Big Al, and congratulations on your apartment find. That is exciting stuff. I'm very, very happy for you, and I do wish you well. I'll keep you and your family in prayers as you make the whole transition. I can understand that's a lot on your mind. So I do wish you well. Thank you. Or thank you. I'm happy for you. Can I wake up now? Okay, so I got the announcements out of the way. Now, Big Al was first with his comment. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Sound Engraver. So yeah, hopefully that is still going strong. Professor Geek says, that's my girl. I mean, Sound Engraver, not the entitled, poorly written character in the thumbnail. Now, before I get into more of the chat, I want to mention something pretty interesting. I went into this commentary on the Siege of Mandalore, of course, actually months ago with my the video I posted back in November on the overindulgence of characters in your art, or just the overindulgence in your art in general. So, the Siege of Mandalore had been a common topic to talk about on my stream, and of course I talk about it on my live stream. But I really did not know. I did not know this until like 2 hours ago when I was checking the writers of all these episodes. If you've seen my video, you hear in my video I say writers. The writers made this decision, this poor decision, and all of that. But it's actually one writer. It's one writer, and it's Dave Filoni exclusively. Now, the interesting thing about that, I knew this intuitively. I knew he wrote, or he was definitely behind. He was definitely the biggest influence behind the Siege of Mandalore arc. But I kind of thought that he had other writers with him. There are other episodes where he is with maybe one or two other writers. And so he has written episodes before, but not on his own. All 7 seasons. Clone Wars, 7 seasons. And that last arc of the Clone Wars, that was all him. And he had done nothing exclusively before. So I find that really interesting. And I'm not nitpicking, or I'm not dissecting or overanalyzing. I don't think I'm overanalyzing the poor writing at all. But I'm not conducting this analysis just because of Dave Filoni. This was a revelation after I have had all this commentary, all these notes that I've written down, talking about it on my stream and all that. And I just thought, guys, if you do have hope in Dave Filoni as a writer, not as a creative mind, I'm not saying that. George Lucas was a creative mind, but I don't know if he was, if writing was his forte. But But if you hope that Dave Filoni can do very well in writing and produce very good art with his writing, at least in the context of Star Wars, you may have another think coming, because it's just a terribly written arc. And I think he should have stayed as a creative mind behind the project. He's a creator, or he has good ideas, but he doesn't know how to execute. It's kind of like with J.K. Rowling. I had heard with the I think it's called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and those two, I think it's 2 films, right? Maybe it's 3, I can't remember. But I think she had free reign on the writing of those movies. And I've seen other commentary, film critics, film, YouTube channels that are they have an eye for film. One is what's his name? The Closer Look. That's a good YouTube channel. He did a commentary on the different films, and how actually, I think it was either the first movie or the second movie that just took out the whole second act of the traditional story. Usually a story is in 3 acts, and act 2 was just yanked out. So he was talking about that with J.K. Rowling's, screenwriting. So she's an author, but she is not known to be good at writing screenplays or writing scripts. And so I find that I just find that a little interesting. So I'll stop my rant, but it's fascinating how this terribly written arc is so beloved, it's so famous, but it's all the characters, including Ahsoka Tano, all the characters suffered they suffered by the hand of Dave Filoni's writing. And I have to say this again before I go, or not again, but I have to say this before I get back to chat. I find it so interesting that I liked Ahsoka Tano with other writers. So Dave Filoni, that's his character. She is his creation. She is his child, and I like her so much better with other writers. I find that funny, and I kind of find that sad. I would hate to have people not like my characters that I love so much because of my writing. Anyway, he's good for other stuff. He's good for big ideas, and he's good for an overall vision. I don't think he's good for writing, as this arc proves. So this streaming will more or less be a follow-up of my video I posted Saturday on the terribly flawed writing of the Siege of Mandalore. Melissa Harris and Sons is in. Horizon Talker is dropping in to say hi, and he's gonna try and promote his comic project over at the open mic night on Alterna Comics. That's cool. Good luck. I hope your promotion goes well, and all the best to you on your project. Yeah, exactly. This is where the fun begins. It should be a pretty laid back stream, but I have a whole list of nitpicks that I think it's not just writers that can learn from this bad writing, but the Siege of Mandalore you can take a lot as an artist, whether you're an illustrator, you're a comic book artist, storyboard artist, graphic novel artist. There are things to learn, not even just a little bit more than writing. I think I have like 2 or 3 things. We'll go over the list soon, but yeah, it's gonna be casual, and it's gonna be just talking about writing and what to avoid as artists. So hopefully you liked my video. That video took a week to do. It was a long video. I'm proud of it. I love it. I think it's a good. I can safely call it a video essay or a video analysis, because it took a lot of analyzing and it took a lot of time. Dr. Y, I just posted that, man. Guys, I'm a little slow. Netters Network is in. Hello, lovely Netter. And Owen Lister. Evening, everyone. Sound Engraver. Oh, hey there, Sound Engraver. So I think Owen Lister is on the red cell bandwagon. Like this is, oh, hey there. We got the reference. Wolf 10 said it's about white cells and red cells and cells greeting each other. So hey there, Owen Lister. And Zetopia, welcome. Nice bowl of oatmeal will keep you warm too. I'm not a fan of most oatmeal. I like they call it groats, which is it's a much thicker. So if you have oats and kind of like grain, not grain, but kind of wheat. Yeah, grain flanks and maybe things like dates and fruits and stuff like that. So it's real hearty. But I have never liked Quaker's oatmeal, except the prof's mom, somehow she knows how to microwave Quaker's oatmeal and make it really good. And I learned, maybe it's the microwave. I don't have a microwave. I usually do everything stovetop. I am buffering. Let's hope that went away. Oh, Professor says try rebooting. I don't see her buffering. I wouldn't be surprised if it started buffering. I've just had the worst trouble with internet. And that's saying something with my Wi-Fi. It might be just your connection. I hope so. But yeah, please let me go ahead and tell me if like all of you guys start seeing me freeze up. Dr. Y says Ahsoka is his pride and joy. Unfortunately, Christian by Lucas himself. Well, as I understand it, I thought Lucas wanted her to perish. I think it was like at the end of season 2 or season 3, and I'm really, if that's the case, I'm not against her continuing, but her, as I've said many, many times on the stream, the direction of her journey and her character arc. I have so many good ideas of what to do for that character, and I didn't make her. I didn't create her. I would have made an amazing Ahsoka Tano. If you just for fun, maybe on one of these streams I would dig up or turn up some fan fiction ideas. I'm not a fan of channels who do kind of the what if scenario. What if this happened? I mean, even channels I respect, and they kind of do like a fan fiction spinoff of what could happen. I just generally don't find those entertaining because the product is out. So what's out is out. What is out for the world to see. And if I might be buffering just because I'm picking on Dave Filoni. that might be the thing. Oh, is that true? I didn't think. I don't know if that's true, but it could be. I don't know. Well, Samuel Proctor, welcome. Owen Lister says, I'm just stealing Wolf's shtick just to be cheeky. Aw, it's cute. Yes, Al does oatmeal right. Prunes, raisins. Maybe not prunes for me. I mean, I don't mind prunes, but dates probably. That's good. And raisins in my oatmeal. And I love the thick oatmeal. Yeah, me too. Like the hearty stuff. The hearty stuff that actually, that fills you up until way late in the day when you're, because you got to plow the fields. That's what it's called. Steel cut oatmeal is the best. Yep. And I make it in slow cooker. Wow, that actually is a good idea. I should get a slow cooker. All right. Knitters Network says, whoa. It froze. Do you want to cosplay Ahsoka Tano? No. Never. Ever. Prof and I, we exchanged some ideas of like who I would cosplay. Now, as far as Star Wars is concerned, I probably would cosplay Mission. What's her last name? Zhao? I can't remember. Mission, the blue Twi'lek in Knights of the Old Republic. Also Bastila, because that's pretty easy. As far as costume is concerned, that'd be pretty easy. So I would cosplay Bastila. We were kind of throwing the idea for Halloween this year because I love how she looks, and that is Agent Melinda May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Her jacket is so cool. So all I would need, it's easy to dress up as her. I could wear her jacket, get some aviator glasses or whatever it's called, shades, and I could even, I probably wouldn't dye my hair a darker color, but I could have a cut like my haircut like her. That could be pretty easy. She just looks great. She just always looks great on that show. So that I probably will be Agent Melinda May, and she the actress did the voice for Mulan in the 1998 film. So I'm a fan. Oh yeah, or Maria Hill, but I don't know Maria Hill as a character, so I don't know. I think I like May just a little bit better. And Wolf 10 is in the house. All right. Oh, thank you, Wolf 10. Bow. Okay, I saw the A and the O. All right. So again, casual stream today. Not really any specific topic or lecture, but let's go ahead and go over some things that at first I called them nitpicks, but I think they're really good to know if you are a writer and if you are working in the visual medium, whether that's a graphic novel or a film or a comic book, whatever the case is. So let's go over them, and I'd love your thoughts on it. It's just a miscellaneous list of nitpicks on the Siege of Mandalore. So every extra, all the extra stuff that I did not put in the video because I just didn't. I don't want too long a video. These long videos, I try to keep them under 30 minutes if I can. I like long videos, but I know a lot of people don't really care for those. So let's pull up my notes and just kind of tell me if I'm buffering. If I do, that would be great. All right, so it's miscellaneous stuff, but I'll go in order in terms of maybe the sequence of events. Like, the arc has part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So let's just go ahead and get started. And so, I mean, this is kind of a weird stream because these nitpicks you kind of have to be familiar with the arc now if you've seen the Siege of Mandalore. Now that I've done commentary, I've seen it a handful of times, and I pick up on these things that you might not catch the first time. So one could argue then it's not a big deal. But if it becomes too much of a habit, it's best to just, proceed with caution. Like, oh, I do this too much as an artist, as a writer. I should dial it back or not do it at all. So let's talk about part 1. So if you guys remember, any of you've seen the Siege of Mandalore, if you guys remember, we've got Anakin and Obi-Wan pretty much finishing off a battle. I don't know what the planet is called, but they're taking over this kind of citadel, this castle that the droids had originally taken over. So the clones are after them. They've overcome the droids, and Obi-Wan and Anakin are just kind of going back and forth and teasing each other because they're brothers and they're cool. So after this battle, Anakin gets a beep. He has the Admiral, dial him in and say, hey, Commander Skywalker. And he's like, come in, or General, whatever rank he is. And he gets this mysterious transmission from this figure called the Fulcrum. This is the Admiral saying this to Anakin. And Anakin assumes it's another character by that name. The name is also associated with the character Saw Gerrera. And there's kind of this tense exchange, this look between Obi-Wan and Anakin. So the idea is serious enough. But the Admiral says it's not Gerrera, but that it's best to take the message on the ship with him, with the Admiral. And so the look, between Anakin and Obi-Wan, it looks serious. And not only that, the tone is very serious. The music is also very serious. It's very ominous. Now, when they arrive, this serious tone is immediately contradicted. The scene, the very next scene, the following scene is immediately contradiction when Anakin. It's contradicted when Anakin kind of saunters in, saying, "Okay, Admiral, what's so important that you brought us all the way back here?" And it's like he's kind of sauntering. He's about to see Ahsoka. Oh, surprise! This is great. But he's kind of sauntering. He's kind of casual. He's like, "Okay, what was so serious that you brought us here?" But before he went to this ship, before they traveled to the ship, it was a tense moment. Like, oh, this could be really serious. The music's serious. So it's a little bit of a nitpick, but the writers and the director, the creative director behind this little moment, should have seen it. Should not have led on what this meant, because it's not. Well, it can be serious, but then don't have Anakin kind of sauntering casually, like, "Oh, what's this about?" It was his personality. It was his exchange that contradicted the serious tone that it was supposed to be. So as a writer, don't build up tension or something serious in a scene and then follow it up with another scene where the character is completely different than he was or she was before. So that's what I'm saying. Hopefully that made sense. Now, this is a total nitpick. I admit this isn't any fault of Filoni's, but I have seen time and time again with different episodes, television episodes, or commercials, or even in novels. Even in novels, I see it in novels, and it drives me crazy. But when you have one character enter a room, and then another character that's expecting them, they have their back turned to them, like they're pensively looking out the window, just contemplating like how profound I am. Yeah, I don't know why that bothers me, but I hate it when someone is expecting another person to come into a room. I don't care if it's an executive. I don't care who it is. They could be top of the food chain. I don't like it when like the person expecting the person who's just come into the room, just looking out the window, and then they turn. So their backs are to the other person, and then they turn. It's supposed to be a dramatic effect. It has never affected me in any positive way. And so this was the case with Ahsoka, where her hologram, her back is turned to him, and there's like this slow turn, this beautiful reveal. Oh, Ahsoka's back, and then Anakin is like, "Oh, Ahsoka, it's so good to see you," and I just find it funny. I wish it was a little bit more realistic, where Ahsoka just appears in front of him, or maybe she's facing him the whole time. There's no reason for her back to turn to him, and unless she's on a computer or something, like some sort of device where she's working and then she turns, like she's preoccupied with some work and then she turns to face him and says, "Hello, Anakin, it's been a while." So I just don't like how do you guys feel about it? Is that just me being nitpicky? I do not care for when there's a character that doesn't face the person to greet the person coming into the room. It is just me. The dramatic effect does not work. All right. Now they meet in person. So here's another bit of a nitpick. Now Anakin is so excited to see Ahsoka in person. And he says, "Ahsoka, it is so good to see you." And right when he says "you," she holds up her hand and says, "We'll have to catch up another time." Now, I don't know about any part of the world besides the United States, besides being an American, but when you hold up your hand, it's actually a rather forward gesture. It's like, don't talk. Like, I have authority to interrupt you. So this could be like a gesture between a parent and a child, a teacher and a younger pupil. It's a very forward gesture. And so he's so excited to see him, or to see Ahsoka. He's like, "I'm so excited to see you." Can you imagine being excited to see an old friend, and they just say, "We have to talk another time. This is really urgent." I'm very put off by that gesture. She was not cordial. And I think I wish Filoni made her a little bit more cordial. I'm sure I have said this on the stream before, but I would have written in this way. I would have written characters this way if I was like in the 5th grade. Like if if there's a girl character who's broken up with a boy character, and they reunite after like two years of not seeing each other, and he's so excited to see her, and then she's like, I'm so grateful that you are excited to see me, but I have moved on. It's kind of what it looks like. That's the kind of writing I would have done as a 5th grader. That's what it looks. It's 5th grade writing. That's all I'm saying. All right. So the next, this is not a nitpick. I think this is a pretty major inconsistency. And that has to do with Bo-Katan's character. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen anything in the Clone Wars that would make me think Bo-Katan is a protagonist. I don't trust her. I think if she's had a development, if she's evolved to a noble character, I didn't see that in the Clone Wars at all. But let's get into her scene. She has this desperate, inquiry, like saying, can you help? She's saying to Kenobi, can you help? I need this to be a joint operation between my troops and your troops and the Jedi. We need to take down Maul and free the Mandalorians. And so she says, that's me paraphrasing, but she's quite desperate to get Obi-Wan to join her. She says in a very angry kind of, it's supposed to be a passionate tone, It's supposed to be, she's just, I wish I could feel for her, but I don't. She says, Maul's influence is destroying my people. He murdered their leader, my sister. I thought she meant something to you. She's talking about Satine, her sister, of course, Obi-Wan's romantic interest. And to that I say, first of all, she was a terrorist. She was in a terroristic organization against Mandalore, who at the time were predominantly pacifists. So when Mandalorians were mostly pacifists, she wanted to bring a more war culture. Okay, I guess that's fine if that's the integrity of Mandalorian culture, but you don't commit collateral damage and cause terror, like domestic terror, to the Mandalorians. So that's what we saw with her Operation Death Watch with the leader Pre Vizsla. So she's a former terrorist, and she had, when she's talking about her sister, like, he killed my sister, Satine, I thought she meant something to you, to Obi-Wan. That's such an insult, because first of all, not that Obi-Wan knew, but I remember, I saw Clone Wars before, where she had no problem with Pre Vizsla, the leader of Death Watch, attempt to assassinate Satine. There was no facial registry how she was processing this for Death Watch to capture Satine or kill her, or whatever the case was. So that's the first thing. Second, Kenobi was there to witness the brutal murder of Satine, not Bo-Katan. I didn't see any love Bo-Katan had for her sister. And so are we supposed to get on her side? Are we supposed to make her feel like, oh yeah, Kenobi really does need to help? I don't feel it, because she didn't care about Satine. It's plain and simple. We didn't see any progression of her character, to become from being a former terrorist to someone who is noble, someone who is a noble leader. That could have been an awesome arc, but we didn't see that trajectory. So I just don't. You don't have characters say meaningful things when it's contradicting that actual character. All right. Maybe we'll take a break between the parts. So this is still part 1. All right. I kind of have a problem with how Ahsoka responds to Anakin's suggestion that she be given the clone troopers. So, she, as you saw in my video, if you've seen my video, Ahsoka Tano's upset because they're all flying to Coruscant, because Grievous is attacking the planet, the city, the major city, and it in front of Ahsoka, Obi-Wan says that the Jedi Knight Shakti, the cool Togruta, she's protecting Palpatine, but Windu confirms that he lost her signal. So Shakti could be in peril, and Ahsoka doesn't care. She doesn't even care about her species. So that actually, I just made that up. That wasn't even on the list. But so there's an emergency in Coruscant. They're about to rally the troops and go to Coruscant, not helping Bo-Katan or Mandalore, as it wasn't discussed anyway to do so. It wasn't approved by the council, as far as we know. And so, as you know, that Anakin haphazardly suggests, oh, we'll make Ahsoka Tano an advisor and have Rex be the commander, so she can have her own squadron. And then he says, "What do you say?" He says that to Ahsoka. "What do you say?" And then she says, "I accept. That is, if Obi-Wan agrees." It's like, I think you would have accepted even if Obi-Wan hadn't agreed. In fact, I so wish Filoni said for Obi-Wan, "I do not agree," and he walks out or whatever. That would have been perfect for that rift between Anakin and Obi-Wan before Anakin becomes Darth Vader. But Obi-Wan is just like, whatevs. I agree. It's just really, really strange. The timing of it is just all wrong. Now, the last part of part one that I find it to be a nitpick, and this has to do with timing. Remember how things are staged in your story, how long certain things take place. And that's important. If everything happens like it's sandwiched in and everything's happening so fast to where it really wouldn't happen in reality, that's a little lazy. So this is my example. Ahsoka's reception. Okay, so after the conversation goes nowhere between Bo-Katan and Kenobi, Anakin says, "Come on, I've got a surprise for you." And his surprise is a tribute performed by Rex, and not 2, not 3, not 4, but 4 dozen clone troopers. 4 dozen. I saw it on the scene. I was like, oh, it's probably like a dozen. It's like 4 dozen? 4 dozen? They half of them paint their helmets kind of that orange paint that reflects her skin tone. And I'm thinking, while the audience doesn't know how much time has passed between Ahsoka's transmission to her actual meeting with Kenobi and Anakin, we could see in the plot that it is urgent. We could see that there's everything is rushed. Everything is like, we got to take down Maul. We got to do this as fast as we can. So it makes sense that if they have to meet in person, which I actually think is kind of pointless anyway, it's going to be a fast transfer. They're going to get their meeting and then they're going to be done. But somehow Anakin, upon knowing that he's going to see Ahsoka again, he gets Rex and 4 dozen troopers to get their helmets painted and salute Ahsoka for her return. I don't think in a real life situation that would happen. He should have used the extra time, if there was extra time, to just catch up with Ahsoka, say, "Hey, what's happening?" But no, that was that tribute just seems totally contradictory to actual time. And kind of a side note with this scene, so we've got the troops giving her the tribute, the graceful tribute to the gracious Ahsoka Tano, and then he's about to give her the 2 lightsabers when the emergency alarm goes off. And just kind of a funny side note, the emergency alarm, Anakin in his line says, Obi-Wan is coming into the room and Anakin's, "Oh, are we going to Mandalore?" yeah, an emergency siren for Mandalore. Yeah, that's pretty believable. And then, of course, Kenobi says, "What's what?" Ahsoka gets mad. And then after, right before the troopers start running to get to their ships, to go to Coruscant. They have to be in Coruscant within an hour. Rex is shouting to all the men, with me. He puts on his helmet. Actually, he doesn't put on his helmet. I think he runs just with his helmet under his arm. And all these troopers are just running, getting ready to go to Coruscant. And then after Anakin's suggestion, Obi-Wan leaves the room in less than a minute, after Obi-Wan leaves the room. Ahsoka walks to the ship with Rex's helmet on, Rex and his helmet on, ready to go to Mandalore. Last time we see Rex, like a minute ago, he's like, "Men, with me, let's go to Coruscant." Okay, so how did they get the word that they're going with Ahsoka to Mandalore? Maybe Obi-Wan pinged the signal to them saying, "Hey, actually, you guys are going to Mandalore." But it just does. The timing just doesn't work. The timing is sloppy. So I don't know. I just catch up. I catch on to some of these things. So that's part one. I'm being extra cheeky tonight. Getting it out of my system. I probably have one more video on the Siege of Mandalore, and then I'll probably be done. So let's see what is happening. Daniel Craig. Hello, man. Nice to see you. All right. Wolf 10's like, why would she do that? She's on a hologram. Why? Was she talking to someone while in the hologram? Her lips don't move. I think she's looking out the window. I just don't like that. But I'll stop talking about how much I don't like that. Depends on the execution. I don't know. Are you talking about the gesture where the businessman is looking out in the window and another person is coming into the room to meet him? It's like, I've been expecting you. Like, they're not really looking out the window. They're not really thinking about the big city that they're looking out. Now, I don't mind characters looking out the window in the course of an exchange if they have to ponder something. That's fine. That's fine. I just don't like it when a character walks into a room and the person is expecting them and they're not greeting. It just doesn't look, no matter who the character is, it could be a villain, it could be a top dog in a business. I don't know. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. And I think it's because, do people do that in real life? I don't think so. Dr. Y says, am I the only one who doesn't like the whole inhibitor chip thing with the clones? I wasn't a fan of that when I saw that arc as far as technology is concerned. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Palpatine could have done something even bigger than that with his power. However, I kind of was a sucker for Fives to discover it, and unfortunately, he goes down because no one can know the truth, obviously, until it's too late. But I did like Fives' arc. I did appreciate his adventure with the different characters. Oh, wait. Chat wanted to jump. Wolf 10 says, Bo-Katan, if I recall, is chaotic neutral or chaotic evil. At least neutral. She didn't care about her sister. She didn't like the way her sister was ruling Mandalore. But she was part of Death Watch. I mean, I've only seen that animated series once, but I remember Death Watch being a pretty bad organization. I mean, I didn't find any nobility in that organization at all. Like, and I love the duel between Pre Vizsla and Darth Maul. I thought that was phenomenal. But I wasn't rooting for Pre Vizsla. He's not a noble character. I like this term you're using, Samuel Proctor, headcanon. Headcanon. Oh, my screen flashed. Are we good? Are we good? At this point, I've taken out the Filoni Clone Wars show as non-canon in my head, along with Disney Star Wars. I'm fine with Clone Wars seasons 1 through 6, kind of like I'm fine with episodes 1 through 6. And I don't even like the number 6. That's how strongly I feel about what is canon. Professor Geek says, Sound Engraver, it's no different than Rey. It's not. She's no longer different than Rey. Sorry, guys. They bring in their untouchable favorite and either have the established characters react in awe, Anakin, or in anger, making them the bad guys, Kenobi. Yeah. You know, aside from Anakin being so embarrassing to her, like I'm sorry if it comes out too strong. I'm sorry. This is what it looks like. He looks like an old boyfriend of hers, so excited to see his old girlfriend. That's what it looks like to me. That's how Anakin is behaving. But aside from that, this should not even be congruent with his character development at this point. He's really close to being Darth Vader at this point. You know, he's killing Count Dooku at this point, you know? And we see in the Revenge of the Sith how angry he is. Like, he's so angry at taking this Dark Lord down. And this is so different. This is such a different Anakin. You know, the Clone Wars season 7 Anakin is very different from the Revenge of the Sith Anakin. Now, a little bit. Anakin actually is dark. He takes a dark turn when he kills Admiral Trench in the Bad Batch series. And we see that. I was like, oh, that's the Anakin. He's lighthearted in some areas, and then he gets really dark because you can see that progression. That's really important. But with like, oh, Ahsoka, so excited to see you. It's like, I'm so excited. You just have no idea. And I said in my video, it looks like romantic tension between the two characters. We only know that it's not because of Padme. And she doesn't get any screen time in Clone Wars Season 7. She's a great character, too. The dramatic turnaround works for villains to usually convey their ego and arrogance. They see the world beneath and don't even bother to look on the hero. If good, that's just rude. Yes. Are you talking about if good characters? That's just rude. It's weird. Yeah, it's a weird exchange. Now, I'm okay. I'll give it a little grace. I'm fine with villains doing it or people who are quite prideful or, you know, up on the top of the food chain, so to speak. I just don't like seeing it done all the time, you know? Yeah. All right. I'll catch up on the comments, and then we'll talk about part 2. Dr. Y says, they could have easily had the whole Mandalore as a subplot unconnected to the movie characters. Dude, that's exactly right. I'm 110% in agreement with you there. Just have Ahsoka and the Death Watch try to take down Maul. Oh my gosh, you are just speaking my language right there. I have said this before in my stream. I know this. I am not against Ahsoka living, and I'm not against Ahsoka being in Mandalore. But what better way to make her more awesome than she was in season 7 than to be outnumbered? It's her, Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan's men and women. And if let's say they're constantly outnumbered, just to get to Maul, they have to go through obstacle after obstacle, and they have to work clandestine, and they have to, you know, be stealth-like, and they have to be secret, and then they have to, you know, she would have, this would make her even cooler. No lightsabers. She would learn the ways of the Force without a weapon. And she could probably even take down Maul with the help of Death Watch, with the help of Bo-Katan. She probably could take down Maul without a weapon because she would start learning how to adapt to the Force without being a Jedi because she's not a Jedi. She should have been an active Force user in Mandalore, even with Darth Maul. Just not looking like a Jedi. I'm not a Jedi. Then why do you look like a Jedi? I'm sure I've said this like 40 times on my stream. But you know what? If channels could do 40 videos of Star Trek Discovery, I could talk about this 40 times on my channel. But yeah, Dr. Y, you're speaking my language right there. That is absolutely right. How powerful Ahsoka Tano could be using the Force as a weapon. she would have to have a little bit of variance between light and dark. I'm not talking about this gray method that people seem to talk about and hate, but without that tutelage, the Jedi Council and the Jedi Temple, she would have to find different ways of working with the Force and understanding the nature of the Force and understanding the will of the Force in a completely different way. But I just, and I'm saying this for writers in general, don't call your character something when they are not. Likewise, don't call your or say your character is not something when they are. No matter how Filoni, how much he crams it in that Ahsoka Tano's not a Jedi, she's totally a Jedi in both Clone Wars season 7 and also Rebels. Wolf 10 says, I didn't like that turnaround when Galadriel did it in the Hobbit Unexpected Journey. Are you talking about the film? I didn't even care. I didn't care for those films. Yes, Melissa, I would agree. Oh, I've never seen. Wait, 2000. I never saw the animated 2003, but I heard it was good as far as story. I'd have to really get past the animation because I'm not a fan of that animation. Wolfton says Ahsoka shouldn't be holding that much of a grudge towards her favorite master. She can have a shaky relationship, but there should be a 60% amount of respect towards Anakin and Obi-Wan, half and half. She's so cold to Anakin at first, and then like she immediately warms up. That's like no. I don't remember thinking like that in the 5th grade. Now she's 15 or 16, I guess, but she's supposed to be mature at this point. Samuel Proctor says, I don't remember if the professor said this or someone else, that in an early season, Ahsoka gets her entire clone squadron killed and gets no repercussion. That's exactly right. I was trying to find who wrote that, but I couldn't find the episode. I don't think it was Dave Filoni, though. But he probably was behind that idea, too. Yeah, the prof does mention that. He does. I still liked Ahsoka at the time. It was actually really was the fault of Anakin to kind of give her a second chance when she really should have been, I mean, as good as court-martialed, if I could say that. But yeah, defying an admiral's order, getting the squadron killed, and then getting a second chance in the span of that episode and winning, because the message is you gotta trust yourself. Well, she trusted herself when she disobeyed the admiral's orders. It got people killed for it. So yeah, I didn't like that either. I think it's repercussion, if I remember. All right. So a few more comments, and then I'll go into the part 2. Man, it's really warm. Wolf 10 says, only the council. Yes, that's absolutely right, Wolf 10. Only the council she should have had a grudge against, not Obi-Wan and Anakin at all. Absolutely right. I could see tension with definitely someone like Mace Windu. Even with Yoda. She was prosecuted. She was accused of a bombing, and Yoda was not aiding her at all. I mean, Anakin was shouting to defend her. I mean, he was that older brother saying, "This is an atrocity. This is absolutely grievous." So she has no business being cold at all. Maybe she's trying to like look cool in front of Bo-Katan, like a younger sister. But the chemistry at that first meeting with him is just weird. And there are no other Jedi Masters she has, or there are also other Jedi Masters she has some respect. Plo Koon, yeah. Isla and the goat lizard dude. Yeah, what was his name? I just read his name too, like scrolling through all these episodes. Yeah. And I like Ahsoka in those episodes. Her relationship with Plo Koon. Didn't like the Citadel mission, not at all. But there are some great moments. Dave Filoni was part of, I think, even writing. I think he wrote or at least helped write the arc of where she's trapped with the other younglings on that island and hunted down for sport. I thought that was an excellent arc. I thought that was amazing. So she has really fine moments. There's no question. I again, as Dr. Wise pointing, she had so much more potential. So anyway, more comments. Come on, guys. Gotta get to part 2. A forced battle between her and Maul, with Maul taunting her about Anakin Kenobi, making her angrier and angrier. Yeah, didn't she already have some dark side tendencies anyway? If someone wouldn't come clean with information, she'd like thrust them up into a ceiling or something. She had, now people say, she had that kind of temper tantrum because I guess she was a younger kid at the time, but that could have been, having those dark side tendencies, the propensity to use the dark side of the Force, and then over time in her maturing in the Force, she overcomes it. She could still be a good character, but she has to be a good character. And oh man, total dark side tendency would have been something like we saw with releasing Maul. She's not noble at all releasing Maul. All right. Yeah, I would say I don't know about war crimes like specifically Melissa, but yeah, I mean she's not responsible for her troops. Okay, let's do part 2. So the first thing on the list of part 2 is actually for you visual artists out there. This is key. Okay, so there's a scene in the Clone Wars or in Siege of Mandalore. She's in Mandalore. She's kind of in this sewer conduit area, and she's surrounded by at least 6, maybe 8 of Maul's not allies, but the Mandalorians that have alleged themselves to Maul. So they've got he's got like 6 or 8. I think it was like 8 of these warriors surrounding her, and she's got her blades, ready. And then Maul approaches, and then Maul steps down and kind of circles her, and he's such a great character. I just wish his writing was better, but he was really the number one thing I enjoyed about that arc, but he's still poorly written. But anyway, so he's circling Ahsoka, and she's got her blades, and she quickly taps the back of her wrist. And I don't even know how she does it. I think it's not even like right here. It's not right in front of me, but she quickly taps her wrist, and it's a comm link to ping a signal to the troopers to aid her in her help. Now, she does this while Maul is looking off. He's kind of looking away. He's kind of improvising, or he's maybe his mind is wandering. He's thinking of what's happening in the current events, especially regarding Lord Sidious. And so as he's looking away, she pings help for to her troopers for help. Well, that's all well and good if he was the only one there and looked away, but there were 8 people around her. One of them would have caught that. So visual artists, the actions of a character really do depend strictly on reality and the environment. Someone would have, in a real life situation, one of his men would say, "Oh, she pinged something. She touched something. I think she's sending for help," or asking for help. So that's a good thing for visual artists to know. That the environment is so strict when it comes to those things, when it comes to the actual actions of your characters. The next thing is ambiguous motives and actions of characters, and I covered this on my video. Things like Obi-Wan Kenobi, why he would ask Ahsoka for help, or ask Ahsoka to talk to Anakin about spying, and that it's okay to spy on Palpatine and all that. So ambiguous writing, ambiguous motives, and actions of characters. One thing I found just so funny, and it just does not make Ahsoka look good, and that is Ahsoka barking orders to the troopers, orders they would have instinctively know to do because they're well trained. So the first is like the prime minister is shot in the chest, and then she says, "Rex, get a medic." In a real life situation, when someone is trained, it could be a firefighter, it could be a policeman, it could be military, they would shout medic, or they would get on the radio and say, "We need a medic here, it's a point, base here." They're like, "Medic, you got a copy?" "We need a paramedic here." She doesn't have to say that to someone who's trained, especially like Rex, "Rex, get a medic." And then he starts calling, like, we got a man down here. It's like he would have done that instinctively. So that's the first thing. She says to Rex at one point in this episode, she's like, "Rex, make sure C deck is properly fortified." Right after a soldier says to them, "We got ambushed on our way to reinforce the entry port on C deck." Well, so she's telling him basically the same information that the soldier was trying to do, what she's telling Rex to do now. What if they're still going to get ambushed? So that was weird. Make sure it's properly fortified. Ahsoka, we were just on our way to make sure that they don't escape that way. I don't know. But Filoni's putting this in her mouth so she can look like a leader. But it's like, no, she's giving commands that they would otherwise check if they had access to, or if they had, strategic control over. And then the prime minister he's refusing to give the name of who Maul is thinking of being Palpatine's new apprentice. And then Ahsoka's like, he's like, he says, "Oh, if only I could remember." And then Ahsoka's like, "Bo, help him remember." It's like, so was she your lackey or something? It's like, it's weird. It's all these commands that don't make sense. All right, ambiguous writing. Now, I talked about ambiguous writing on the video. I might actually do one more stream on very specific points of the Siege of Mandalore, and how writers can take away, points that they can take away with points they can learn from. That's what I meant to say. Because it's kind of all haphazard right now in my notes, but I think there are some good things that Dave Filoni showed us not to do. And one of those things is ambiguous writing. And I'll have one example here tonight, but I'll kind of break it down to different examples that are very specific. After the execution of Order 66 has happened, execute Order 66. Ahsoka escapes the clone troopers, and then she goes to release Maul and have him be a diversion. And he's like, "Oh, you survived," which is kind of a Mary Sue affirmation, if you want my honest opinion. But the thing is that the "you survived" is actually quite ambiguous in and of itself, and here's why. Does Maul know the details of Order 66? What does he mean by "you survived"? Does he know that there's this slaughter that's happening, that's taking place? Obviously, in the exchange when he's cooped up in that case, he senses, it's apparent in the film or in the animation that he senses something bad is truly happening. He senses death, but what specifically he perceives is ambiguous to us. It is hinted that he sees Anakin kill Mace Windu in front of Lord Sidious. We hear that exchange with Anakin saying, "What have I done?" And then we see that going between Maul and Ahsoka. But that's all we are led to believe he is seeing or sensing or perceiving. It is not hinted or shown that he senses a Jedi slaughter. So why does he say "you survived" in the first place? If he sees the slaughter, we should either see it or hear it. We should actually hear the montage of the Jedi slaughter for him to get a sense, for him to have sense enough to say to her, "You survived. You survived something big. I know it." So it's a Mary Sue comment at the very least, but it's also ambiguous the worst because it's not implied by a long shot. It's not implied that he's sensing a slaughter. He's sensing death, but he's not sensing a whole slaughter. It's not like it's kind of like with the destruction of Alderaan. Obi-Wan senses millions of people had perished. So even if it was as short as that with Maul, that would have been satisfactory. But the whole "you survived," it just doesn't make sense. It's more like, wow, you're so powerful to have survived something bad I know nothing about. And actually, he does say, right after he says to Ahsoka, right after he says "you survived" to Ahsoka, he says, "I was not privy to my master's plan, but now I see it." And this is after she says that the clones turned on her. So he's not aware of the full-scale plan. He's not aware of the details. So his dialogue really contradicts this. It's just, I just call it ambiguous writing. This is a good lesson for writers to know. I'm not for spoon-feeding your reader or your audience, but I am definitely for making things as clear as possible to your reader. It's only doing the reader a favor. It's only providing them a service. It's a disservice to make things kind of cloudy, like the reader's thinking, what am I supposed to see here? What am I supposed to think with this character? And that's in the case with Siege of Mandalore. Next, for part 2 or part 3, this is part 3. This is last point of part 3. I just kind of want to comment at this point. Ahsoka has every good reason to join Maul. Okay, first of all, she could work with Maul to destroy the troopers. Now she doesn't want to because she's a noble character. But imagine you're on a ship, you're on a giant cruiser, and everyone on board wants to kill you. Now, even on self-preservation, if you kill as an act of defense, you are not guilty of bloodshed because you're not the attacker. You're not the person who assaults first. You are only defending yourself. Ahsoka had every right to defend herself, even if it means, at the killing of a clone trooper. Now, she has every good reason to join Maul now because she said previously in the previous episode, "I will join you, but you got to tell me about Anakin." Now that that's gone, Anakin was initially the only reason that stopped her from joining him to take down Palpatine. Now that that's gone, and she's kind of having a vision of what's happening to Anakin and the dark side, especially if she's perceived a Force vision of Anakin killing Windu in front of Sidious, that would have been a really good opportunity for her character to join Maul and have that be like this great dichotomy. We've never seen that in Star Wars. I don't know about the EU, but we've never seen that in Star Wars. A dark side Force user and a light side Force user. That would have been awesome. I would have supported Disney. If Disney created a story like that, I'm fine with supporting them. See, if Disney writes good stories and produces good shows, I have no problem supporting them. It's just these terrible decisions they make, or it makes. But yeah, at this point, she has no reason to send Maul away. She has a very good reason to join Maul at this point. All right. It's warm in here. Oh, my hair's getting kind of stringy. It's like sticking to my face. All right. Actually, let me just go ahead and read out part 4 because it's pretty short, hopefully. And I ask the question, or I say the phrase, or I say the sentence, to be a Jedi or not to be a Jedi? That is the question. And what a question. During the whole arc, during the whole Siege of Mandalore, it is a back and forth on whether Ahsoka is a Jedi or not. She isn't in front of the council. But she is, apparently, when Kenobi thinks it's okay to inform her about Lord Sidious. Even though later the council chooses not to reveal any more information of Sidious to her. So Kenobi is contradicting the will of the council because Filoni wrote Kenobi to be like that. She is when she has a whole squadron, to join her, to escort her on Mandalore. Why? Because if she's, it just doesn't make sense that she's not a Jedi if a whole squadron joins, because she would not have that privilege. As someone who's withdrawn from the Jedi, she's also withdrawn herself from the Republic. She's withdrawn herself from the war. So it doesn't make sense to have a squadron escort her to Mandalore, or a battalion, or whatever the technical term is, unless she was a Jedi. So she's a Jedi when it's convenient. She's not a Jedi when it's convenient. Now, technically, she's not a commander anymore like she was when she was under Anakin's tutelage. But she does give orders, as sorry orders as they are. She does give orders on Mandalore. But the real question is, as I have just said, why would a squadron of the Republic property that, as they are brothers and human beings, it is sad to say that the clones are Republic property. Why would Republic property be even granted to Ahsoka for having stepped away from the council? So there is that. And lastly, she's not a Jedi when she tries to escape the clone troopers ready to slaughter her. They are ready to slaughter her. And Rex says, wait, guys, the orders were to slaughter the Jedi. Well, apparently there were 2 clone troopers that were about to slaughter Maul because he's a Force user. So it might have been more than, Jedi. Not that Rex and Ahsoka needed to know that, but it's like, oh, no, wait, she's not a Jedi, so don't shoot her. It's like, okay, this is weird. And one last thing on being a Jedi, or at least a Force user, I don't know if Dave Filoni knows how to write the Force in his stories. I don't know if he knows the nature of the Force. It's kind of like when Han Solo in that awful movie, The Force Awakens, he's like, that's not how the Force works. And it's so true with this last episode on Siege of Mandalore. Ahsoka uses the Force pull, to tug on Maul's shuttle. He's thrusting this giant shuttle. It's not giant, but it's a good size. It's not like Rey Skywalker with her transport, but it's kind of the same, because it's a shuttle propelling into the sky. As you see my hand just kind of wave in front of you. So you can imagine this shuttle just propelling itself full thrust into the sky and into space. Actually, it's space. They hadn't reached the atmosphere yet. And then she's pulling him in. It's exactly what they did with Rey in The Rise of Skywalker. But the Force push and pull, this push me, pull you thing is really inconsistent between Maul and Ahsoka. So you've got Maul, who's just taken down probably 2 to 4 of these massive generators, these hyperdrive generators. And then, she's chasing him down, and he's like throwing all these boxes at her and stuff like that. And she's not daunted. She's about to get him. And then in a swirl of anger, he thrusts her with all his Force energy, and it's so much energy, in fact, that she pegs the lightsabers down to resist the fall, for her going into that hole, that chute. So it's so much force of his that lightsabers searing themselves into concrete and moving at an incredible pace, an incredible speed. So obviously he's got incredible Force power, and yet he can't escape her when she tries to pull his shuttle in. And he's only using the gear of the shuttle. It's not it's obvious he's using the Force to escape her. It's really weird. It's very strange. So the use of the Force is also very inconsistent. And actually, I was thinking about this even before preparing this video of another inconsistency, and that has to do with Ahsoka's position over, lording over Maul. So there's a scene where he's coming out of the room, he's following her, and he says, "Care to give me a fighting chance?" And she's like, "I'm not ready for you. Now get going." And she's like, it's like this, it's like a 14-year-old girl kind of doing this to a pro wrestler. That's what it looks like. So obviously this scene is to make us believe that Ahsoka is way more powerful than Maul, because or at least equal to Maul. She's either equal to Maul in power or greater than Maul in power, because he just saunters away and say, "Okay, fine, I guess I'm gonna do your bidding and cause a distraction like you ordered me to." And I had a contradiction. What was the contradiction? Oh, yes, the contradiction. If she is equal to Maul in power or greater than Maul in power, she would have not needed him to begin with when it came to releasing him and having him cause a distraction, having him be a diversion, because she would have found a way. She would have found a way to get past every single clone trooper, because she's so powerful. If she is as powerful as Maul, we saw his force being used on those troopers in the hallway. If she's as good as Maul or better, she could have used that own wonderful, glorious, amazing power against them, even without hurting them. Like a light side hallway scene, where clone troopers are incapacitated, like Batman. She could have been Batman with the Force. See, I'm generating all these much cooler ideas about this character, but that scene where she has command over Maul, Darth Maul, okay? When she has command over Maul, that implies that she has so much power in the Force that she could take out these clone troopers by herself. If she doesn't, if she had no hope, then she had no command over Maul himself. So anyway, those are all the nitpicks. I think I'm going to organize it and or do one more stream of very good, valuable writing lessons as storytellers with this scene. Just break it into chunks and categories with very specific examples. And then I think I will be done with my commentary on the Siege of Mandalore. But it's the year anniversary, so I'm milking it. Okay, guys, I'm milking it. All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna actually, let's see. I'm gonna put up my album and play my track. I will be sure to have the audio on, and I'm gonna go ahead and use the restroom. But I should have put this up. Let's see if it's up. Screen share screen. Got that. Share audio. Okay. I want to see if you guys can hear this music, because I haven't. Okay. Got that? Okay, good. Here's my album. I'm going to play it. See if you can hear that. Can you hear it? It won't be good. It won't be good audio because it's StreamYard. It'll be kind of fuzzy. But can you guys hear that? Because I can hear it. Say something, guys. I have to use the restroom. I'm not leaving until I get a confirmation. Well, Owen's going to bed. That's a confirmation. Good night, Owen. Come on, guys. Okay, Wolten hears it. I will be right back. right. Okay. Oh, end of the song. All right. Stop after that. All right. Stop screen share. Okay, I'll go through the comments and then we'll make sure the time is good. Let's see. Exit that. All right. Okay, so let's go through the comments. And if we have a little extra time, I might try to find a way to screen share some pictures of the Siege of Mandalore. I want your artist take on it. Oh, welcome, Craig. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Samuel says Bob's head back and forth. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Appreciate it. Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel like I could probably compose, an album of that kind of music. My next album, I gotta get this done. It's like 4 tracks of like upbeat space ambience, but I've got a ways to go. I'm trying to release it. Probably I would love to release it by end of May. It's 4 tracks, but we'll see. Okay, so I don't know where we were. Oh, okay. I forgot what vibroblades were, but I would know what they were. I think if I'm thinking the same, like they're not lightsabers. They're like they're proton charged, right? But aren't those blades invisible? Is that what I'm thinking of? All right. Okay. Do. Nothing. Melissa says she's Michael Myers with force powers. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would say that, but Wolf 10 says, yeah, Dark Side of Ahsoka happened when they visited that one planet with the father, son. Oh, that's right. And daughter, embodiments of the Force. That's right. She did. She did go to the dark side. I forgot about that. I guess, like, wasn't she revived by the daughter, but at the cost of the daughter's life? So I guess because of that, Ahsoka's pure now? No. Yeah. Oh, man. Wow, I just realized how cold I am towards the show I used to watch every Wednesday after school and loved. No, I don't want to strip your enjoyment. But I mean, I'll talk about being, you know me on my stream. I talk about my experience in the academics, and I do take a little bit from the academics, some objective critique. So when it comes to writing, oh yeah. I mean, even well, actually not writing. I haven't seen really much in the writing, but with the show that Prof and I are watching, Agents of Shield, there were a couple moments where I was telling the professor, I'm like, that wouldn't happen. They shouldn't have done that. I'm kind of like always. I don't know. I always have an eye for what's going on there. Oh, the on you survived. Maul should be indifferent whether she lived or died, so that line shouldn't come out of his mouth. It's not that he was happy to see her survive. I think it was a way to say, "Oh, I'm in awe of you having able to survive." Just you're so great. I won't say a big Mary Sue comment, but an inferred Mary Sue comment, like, oh, I should this extremely powerful dark force user be impressed with a teenager. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, you survived is code for, oh, you're awesome, and I gotta tell you, you're awesome. Oh, dude, see, you just solved the problem right there. Ahsoka should have stolen a blaster instead of her stun. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. You know, she did not need to release Maul. Remember, I said in the video, she released Maul at the cost of Obi-Wan's life, her friend, at the cost of Bo-Katan's life and the lives of her people, another friend, and just in general, wherever he went, he was gonna, wherever he goes, wherever Maul goes, he's gonna unleash evil. So it's just not a morally good decision. She's not a hero for having done that. Yeah, that's a great idea, Samuel. That's awesome. There's only two Disney Star Wars stories that I still like from what I remember. The first few arcs of the Vader comics and the Kanan comic miniseries. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those stories. I heard that the Vader series were pretty good. I'm not actually. If you can confirm what you're saying, Samuel, I can buy Obi-Wan telling her that information as a friend. I'm not sure exactly what you mean there, but something to do with Maul, you know, seeking vengeance on it. Yeah, Obi-Wan's life. He's gonna be hunted down because of this. Dr. Y says the clones are copies of a Mandalorian, so technically they're going to defend their ancestral home. Just crazy thinking. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, there could be some potential stories there, but at the same time, they're under yeah, what's it called? Kaminoan property, government property. Yeah, this is property of the Republic, unfortunately. Wolfton says nowadays that's what people are writing for little girls. Teen girls shouting at adults, mostly men, like a chihuahua barking at a Doberman. Chihuahuas are pretty obnoxious. Yep. Yeah. All right. So. Oh, okay. Vibroblades are from the Knights of the Old Republic. They vibrate and are ray shielded, I believe. Cool. Yes, there's no season 7 for me. It ended with Soka left and nobody knew where she went. I would say that her leaving season 5 made Anakin's turn to the dark side more believable. But the way he acts in season 7, he's not ready to be dark side Anakin. Not at all. And it makes no sense. That final scene when he picks up her lightsaber and then sees that creature, that owl or that bird of the daughter, you know, the animal spirit of the daughter, and sees that she has died. She's truly dead. He's not Anakin in that suit. He becomes Darth Vader as soon as that helmet snaps on in the Revenge of the Sith. He has forgotten about Padme. He's forgotten about Obi-Wan. He's forgotten about Ahsoka. I just don't. Dave Filoni doesn't know Darth Vader. He doesn't know him. He doesn't know Princess Leia. He doesn't know Star Wars. Sorry, guys. I'm just saying that right now. Sorry, Dave Filoni. You need to know about these characters if you're watching. I mean, I put your name on the thumbnail, so hopefully you're watching. Samuel Proctor says, it wasn't you who changed my mind. That's good. That's a relief. My opinion on the Clone Wars changed at the same time I changed my mind on how good I thought Disney Star Wars movies are. Interesting. Yeah. The more you understand that art has a standard of excellence, the more you just pick up on these things. Absolutely. And it's not to say you can't enjoy these things. I can't really, unfortunately, I can't really enjoy the music and some of the cinematography of season 7 now that I just know so much. I want to see if I can share some pictures. When it comes to the Clone Wars, I like the episodes that focus on the clones, like Umbar. Oh yeah, oh dude, the Umbar. That's a great arc. I really do love the clones centric arc. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, he was a weird bat looking thing. Son was the bat thing, and daughter was the griffin thing. I thought doesn't she come in the form of an owl in the Rebels or something? Tartakovsky's Clone Wars is the real Clone Wars. I guess I can get past. I'll just have to get past the animation. Well, it's a good story. I'll give it a chance. All right, so I want to see if I can share screen, entire screen, window, entire screen. Okay. I wonder how I can do this. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't share that. Oh man. I can't share my pictures. I thought I could share my desktop. What if there's a way you can share your desktop? Because I wanted to show you some images. I wanted to show you some images of pictures that I kind of screen captured that just don't seem to work. But you know, maybe that's another topic. I just wish I could share them. Too bad. Let me see if it's under settings. Video streams. Yeah, probably. I saw Aged Boomer do it the other stream. Oh well. Oh well. So if I don't have that, I think I'm pretty much done. And it's 11 o'clock, so about 90-minute stream. That's good. That's good. I think I covered everything I wanted to. Oh, okay. You can share desktop. Chrome tab. I said darn, you know. What did you say, Prof? My Wi-Fi dropped. Okay. You can share desktop, switch from Chrome tab to application in the share window. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, you know what? Oh, I see. To switch from Chrome tab to application in the share window. I don't have that, and it's because I'm not on Chrome, maybe. Oh well. Actually, I wonder if I kind of want to troubleshoot live. You guys think I can troubleshoot live real quick? Let's see what. Nah, never mind. I thought I had an option, and I don't. Oh well. But I'm not using Chrome, so we'll see. I think I melted, right? I'm not freezing. Oh my gosh, it blinked again. All right, guys. Well, I have nothing else to say. Do you have any announcements or anything? I think that's it, guys. I think unless you guys had anything else to say, I think I'm good. Actually, my thumbnail, I'll say this, my thumbnail does say, you know, it has Ahsoka's angry face, and it does say, Filoni made us all look ridiculous. So let's go over who Filoni made look ridiculous. First, Anakin Skywalker. behaves like an excitable little puppy in front of Ahsoka. He looks like a kind of an old boyfriend that he still has a crush on. He has a crush on Ahsoka. He definitely does not look like he's ready to enter the dark side. So he's definitely not Anakin Skywalker. He has been reduced. To lift someone up, you do not reduce characters to lift someone up. So Anakin has he's reduced to this like naive little, kind of embarrassing high schooler, like a high school kid who is seeing his crush after a year or two. That and also making erratic, haphazardous decisions, probably against the consent of the council, if not the Republic. So that's Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's just kind of looking like the bad guy in this. He not only is he looking like the bad guy, he's also looking like he's confused. The first is he's he has a very wordy response. He speaks in a very wordy way where he sounds a little too arrogant for Ahsoka. Like he sounds like he's part of politics. He's part of like this machine, like a cog in the wheel. He's not really thinking for himself. He's not really speaking like Obi-Wan. So he's kind of reduced to this kind of confused cog in the wheel. Palpatine is reduced to a simpleton. He looks like he misses some very key things in his overall design, like somehow allowing Maul know about Anakin Skywalker turning to the dark side and becoming his new apprentice. That's not Palpatine. He is too intelligent to let Maul have any clue on what's going on. And then Maul is reduced to a fool who constantly contradicts himself with his character is constantly contradicted. He'll reveal information to characters who would otherwise be, they'd otherwise be a risk of, revealing information he does not want revealed. Like he can kill the character on the spot, which he does after revealing the information to the character. He just does not behave wisely as an intelligent character, as a powerful dark force user, dark side of the force user. And Ahsoka Tano herself is reduced at the very least to manslaughter. She's reduced to having committed manslaughter at the very least. But I would say it's a lot more grievous than that. Grievous. Character and a word. So that's that. But that's one thing I'm going to point out on writing techniques is that you do not bring characters down to raise a character up. You have to bring that character up to their level to make them excel. That's the way of life, man. That's the way of businesses. You got to work yourself to the top. You don't bring people down. And by the way, every time you see that, guys, when you're bringing people down or when you're bringing characters down, so you can be raised up, that is a telltale sign of ideology. This very dangerous academic ideology that we see all the time in Hollywood and now, of course, in Disney. So that was my conclusion. I think I'll stop there. We've got, of course, our usual streams, Tuesdays and Thursdays with Wolf Commander Rambles. On Tuesdays, or on 2:30 Eastern Time, we've got Catholic Bible Geek with his book study on the Chronicles of Narnia. We are in the last battle with Big Al Presents. We are also seeing. Prof, do you have any ideas for gaming streams this week? I think you're taking a break from. That's right. That too. The Inspiration of Heroes. I think you're taking a break from Star Wars book study for at least a little bit and working on Knights of the Old Republic. But let's go ahead and confirm those times if you can, if you're available. I know you have like less than an hour to get that paper turned in, so maybe we'll announce that next week. Or you can announce it tomorrow. But yes, Matt Wilkins will be on your Inspiration of Heroes stream this Wednesday at 9:30. I should be. Yeah, I teach until 9, so I'll definitely be there 9:30. Oh, cool. Talking about the prequels tomorrow. Cool. I'll be teaching, but I'll try to steal steal in between students if I can. Well, that'll be fun. That'll be a really fun topic. Do you have any guests, Wolf 10? Oh, sweet. Paper's done. Yes. Good. That must be just a huge relief. That's probably just a weight lifted off your shoulders. Okay, paper's done. 10 p.m. Thursday. Knights of the Old Republic. That's awesome. All right. We've, of course, got soundtracks Birdman Wednesday nights and also Green Line Girls game streams Wednesday nights. And we also have possibly some fan man activity with Second Cup Cafe and his things Friday night. We've got, of course, rewatches with Big Al Presents and Knitters Network. And I think they go back and forth now. They alternate. And then we've got Geeky Geezers with Aged Boomer and Troy Bocelli. I think that's it. But you guys know the routine. We've been doing this for months. We've got our schedule. So anyway, I thank you guys for always watching and listening. Always be on the lookout for some more sound experimentation, maybe some commentary on popular art. Sound experimentation on Thursdays. Anything extra would be on Saturdays posted. And also live commentary every Monday night. So until I see you next, keep producing the art you love. And I will catch you later.